Hi class, today we have our final lesson in Unit 2. It's multiplication patterns using a rule, and that's found in 2-16. Our goal for today is I will generate a number pattern following a given rule. So our first vocabulary word is a pattern. It is a sequence of shapes or numbers that follow a rule. For example, this could be a pattern: heart, star, heart, star, heart, star. So we have a sequence of shapes that follows a rule. The rule would be heart, then star, and then it would repeat. So our next vocabulary word is growing pattern. That is a pattern that increases with each term. For example, if I had 2, then 5, then 8, this pattern is growing by 3 each term. Next word is sequence. That is a set of numbers or shapes that are in order. And next word is term, the ordinal position of an object or number in a pattern. And I'm going to refer up to here. The 5 is in the second term. The 8 is in the third term. What comes next is 11. That is our fourth term. Okay, our rule is a statement that explains the sequence of a pattern. So if we're talking about our rule for up here, it is add 3. Okay, and then a feature is a special characteristic or quality. Our steps for today is our first one is to underline the starting number. The second step is to circle the rule, and it's really important that we are underlining when it says underlining, we're circling when it says circling, and then step 3, box. Remember, you're boxing when it says box the number of terms needed. Step number 4 is draw lines to represent each term. So for example, I would have first term, second term, third term. So we would draw lines to represent each term. Step number 5 is write your starting value on the first line. So we would write the starting number right here. Okay. Step number 6 is if the rule has more than one step, follow the steps in order. Can't jump around, we gotta go in order. Step number 7 is complete the pattern. And then step number 8 is identify the features of the pattern. Okay, I'm getting out my red pen. I'm gonna get out my input model today. I apologize for yesterday. So I have the right example. I have my steps out. So step number 1, I'm going to read the problem first. Starting with 1, create a pattern that grows by multiplying the previous number by 3. Stop when you have 7 terms. So I'm going to do step 1. Underline the starting number. Starting with 1, circle the rule, multiply by 3, and I'm just going to write times 3. Box the number of terms, so we have to have 7 terms. Draw lines to represent each term. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms. Write your starting value on the first line. So my first one is 1. Okay, if the rule has more than one step, follow the steps in order. This one only has one step. Complete the pattern. Identify a feature of the pattern. So I'm going to do 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Ooh, 27 times 3. I don't know that, so I have to do 20 plus 7. And I have 3. 3 times 2 is 6 with 1 0. 3 times 7 is 21, and I add it and I get 81. Okay, now I have 2 more of those, so 81 times 3. 80 plus 1 times by 3. 3 times 8 is 24 with 1 0. 3 times 3 is 3 times 1 is 3, so 243. Oh no, I have one more step that I need to do, so I'm going to do 243. So 200 plus 40 plus 3 times by 3. So 3 times 2 is 6 with 2 zeros. 3 times 4 is 12 with 1 0. 3 times 3 is 9. When I get that, add that, I get 729 for the next pattern. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for our first problem. We are going to do the second problem. So it says create a pattern that starts with 1 and grows by multiplying the previous term by 4, then subtracts 1. Stop when you have 6 terms. So I need to underline the first number, so start at 1. I need to circle the rule, so multiply by 4 and then subtract by 1. So there's 2 steps. Box the number of terms needed. I need 6 terms. Draw lines to represent each term. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. Write your starting value on the first line. My first one is 1. So I need to multiply by 4. 1 times 4 is 4, minus 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm just going to write this. So I need to multiply by 4, which would equal to 12, then subtract 1, which will give me 11. Okay, now I do 11 times 4, which would give me 44, then minus 1, 43. Now I need to multiply 43 times 4, which I don't know that off the top of my head, so 40 plus 3 times it by 4. 4 times 4 is 16 with 1 0. 4 times 3 is 12. I add that and I get 172. But I multiplied by 4. I need to now subtract by 1. So 172 minus 1 is 171. Okay, I have to multiply by 4. 171 times by 4. So 100 plus 70 plus 1. So 4 times 100 is 400. 4 times 7 is 28 with 1 0. 4 times 4 is 4. So I have 400 plus 280 plus 4, which is 684. But I have to subtract 1. So 683. And that is my pattern for this one. Okay, I'm getting out my green pen so you're following along, you are watching. So step number 1, I'm going to read the problem first and then I'm going to do step 1. So step 1, or the problem is create a pattern that starts with 4 and grows by multiplying the previous term by 2. Stop when you have 7 terms. So underline the starting number, starts at 4. Circle the rule, multiplying previous number by 2. So I'm just going to write times 2. And then stop when you have 7 terms. So I'm going to box that. I'm going to draw my 7 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to write my starting value is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128, times 2. Ooh, I don't know 128 times 2, so I'm going to make an area model. 100 plus 20 plus 8 and 2. 100 times 2 is 200. 2 times 2 is 4, with 1 0 is 40. 2 times 8 is 16. So I add that up and I get 256. Okay, I have one more problem. First problem is starting with 2, so I'm going to underline 2. Create a pattern that grows by multiplying by 3, then add 1. So times 3 plus 1. Stop when you have 6 terms. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put your commas in between, starting with 2, so I'm going to put 2 first. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Times by 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 22 times 3 is 66, plus 1 is 67. 67 times 3, so I don't know that one, so 60 plus 7, 60 times 3 is 180, 7 times 3 is 21, so when I add that I get 201 plus 1, because I have to add the 1, so 202 times 3, so 200 plus 2 times it by 3, 200 times 3 is 600, 2 times 3 is 6, so 606 plus 1, so 607. Okay, lots of steps, but it's pretty simple if you break down the steps and follow the lines, solving by underlining, then circling, then boxing. If you break it down by steps, they're pretty simple. So you have 1, 2 homework problems, and then rate your understanding.